Hi everyone, let's talk about inverse of a matrix. So we have an example. Find matrix A with the following entries 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 3, negative 2, negative 2, such that the product of matrix A and its inverse will be equal to identity matrix. So this is a 3 by 3 matrix. Therefore, our identity matrix should be I3 or a 3 by 3 matrix as well. The solution: the inverse of a matrix or matrix A would be equal to the augmented form of matrix A and its multiplicative inverse, the identity matrix. So we write it in this form. We have the matrix A. Beside it would be identity matrix 3 by 3. And we call the first row as R1, second row would be R2, and the third row would be R3. So basically, here's what we need to do. We need to perform the elementary matrix operation and take this left side to make it exactly the right side. So the operation that we apply on the left side should also be done on the right side. And this right side will change as a result, and the result would be what we call the inverse of a matrix. So I'm going to start by writing my goal so that the first column I would like to have 1, 2, 3 as 1, 0, 0. So that this is already 1, I'll simply copy my row 1. And I'm going to call it a new row as R1 prime. So that's 1, 0, 1. And this one is 1, 0, 0. We have that augmented matrix part. Now I need this 2 to become 0, so by solution I'll simply multiply row 1 by 2 and then subtract row 2. So this is 2R1 minus R2 or row 2, and this will be my row 2 prime. So that this is 2 minus 2 is 0. This is 2 times 0 is 0 minus 1 is 1. That's 2 minus 0 is 2. This is 2 minus 0 is 2. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Then 0 minus 0 is 0. Next, I want this 3 to become 0. So I'll do the same technique applied to row 2 prime. I'll simply multiply 3 on row 1. Then subtract row 3. And this is now my new row 3. I'm going to call it R3 prime. So this one is 3 minus 3 is 0. And this one is 0 minus negative 2 is 4. This one is 1 times 3 is 3 minus negative 2 is 5. This one is 3 minus 0 is 3. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. A correction here, this should be 2. Not 4. There you go. So upon rechecking as well, this should be negative 1. In the succeeding solution, I am aiming for these two columns to be looking like this. So I have 1, 0, 0, and then 0, 1, 0. So I don't have a problem with my first row. It's already set on 1, 0, so I'll simply copy my row 1 prime, and this will be my row 2 double prime. So I have 1, 0, 1, then 1, 0, 0, followed by row 2, wherein I need this negative 1 to become positive 1. So I'll simply multiply row 2 prime by negative. And this will become my new row 2, and I'm going to call it row 2 double prime. This one is negative 1, becomes positive 1, negative 2, negative 2, positive 1, and that's 0. Next, this 2 value here should become 0. So applying my row operation, I can multiply row 2 prime by 2 and add it to row 3, and that would yield me a 0 here. So that would be 2 row 2 prime plus row 3 prime and this would give me a result of row 3 double prime. So doubled, that's still 0, plus 0 is 0. Double, that's negative 2, plus 2, that's 0. Double, that's 4, plus 5, that's 9. Double this, that's positive 4, plus 3, that's 7. Double this, that's negative 2, plus 0 is negative 2. And double this, that's 0, plus negative 1 is negative 1. So on my last final solution, I am aiming for the identity matrix on this part. So I should have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, meaning this 1 should turn to 0, this negative 2 should turn to 0, and this 9 should also turn to 1. So let's see the change that's going to happen on the left side, which will be my value for the inverse of matrix A. So to do that, I'm going to start with the easiest solution here. I'm going to start with R3 double prime by simply dividing this row 3 by 9. So I have 1 over 9 multiplied to row 3 double prime, and this will yield me my final row 3. I'm going to call it R3 triple prime. So if I do that, I end up with 0, 0, 9 divided by 9 is 1, 7 divided by 9 is 7 over 9, negative 2 divided by 9 is negative 2 over 9, and negative 1 divided by 9 is negative 1 over 9. Next, I'm gonna continue with row 1. So the idea is I'm gonna start with row 1, double prime, subtract row 3, but I'm going to divide row 3 by 9. So when I do that, this value here, 9 divided by 9, is equal to 1. So when I subtract 1 and 1, I end up with 0. So this is R3 double prime, and this will now be my new row 1, and I call it row 1 triple prime. Simplifying that, I have 1 minus 0 over 9 is still 1. 0 minus 0 is still 0. 1 minus 9 over 9 is 0. 1 minus 7 over 9 is 2 over 9. 0 minus negative 2 over 9 is positive 2 over 9. And then 0 minus negative 1 over 9 is positive 1 over 9. For R2 double prime, I'll do the same strategy with what I did with the first row. I'll simply subtract row 3 double prime, but I need to make them similar. So if this is 2, this should also turn into 2, meaning I'll divide it by 9 and multiply it by 2. And then I can make use of the operation plus. This would now be my row 2 triple prime. So if I do that, I end up with 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1, negative 2 plus 2 it'd be 0, negative 2 plus 14 over 9 would be equal to negative 4 over 9. So again, how did I arrive to negative 4 over 9? That's negative 9 plus 14 over 9. So we can rewrite this as negative 18 over 9 plus 14 over 9, and you end up with negative 4 over 9. In this entry, I have 1 plus negative 4 over 9. So that's 1 plus negative 4 over 9, and I have 5 over 9. And the last entry is 0 plus negative 2 over 9 is negative 2 over 9. So the result that I have is inverse of A is now the values 2 over 9, negative 4 over 9, 7 over 9, 2 over 9, 5 over 9, negative 2 over 9, 1 over 9, negative 2 over 9, negative 1 over 9. I was able to do this as well using the spreadsheet MS Excel. Let me show that. These are my row operations, and just to show you, let me delete these values and follow this row operation. So it simply says copy row 1, so this is equals row 1, and then copy that. There you go. And then this one is twice row 1 minus row 2, so this is equals twice multiplied to row 1 minus row 2, enter, then simply copy that. There you go. This row operation 3 times row 1, so this is equals 3 times row 1 minus row 3, enter. So copy that, and you have that following entry. Next, we have row 1 prime. Simply copy it to make it row 1 double prime. So that's row 1. Then copy that. There you go. Then I have a negative row 2 prime. So this is equals negative row 2 prime. Enter. Then copy that. There you go. Then followed by equals. This one is negative 2 multiplied to row 2 prime. So this is row 2 prime. Subtract R3 prime. Enter. And then let me copy that. Applying the same row operation on the right side of the augmented matrix. And in this last part of the solution, I will normally start with row 3. So this is equals whatever I see on this entry of the right side, then that's my denominator. So that's equals negative 1 over 9 multiplied to row 3, enter. Then drag the formula or simply copy the same thing. Then let me change this entry to fraction. There you go. I got 7 over 9, negative 2 over 9, and 1 over 9. Then followed by the first row. This is equals row 1 plus, I have 1 over 9 R3, so that's 1 over 9 multiplied to R3, enter, and then copy the formula. There you go. Convert this to fraction. There you go. Then the last row, that is R2, or row 2 minus 2 over 9 multiplied to R3, enter, then copy the formula, change this to fraction. There you go. So notice that this left side has become an identity matrix, and this is now the value of the inverse matrix. So if we compare this with my manual solution, it should look the same. There you go. We can check this by multiplying this entry to the original matrix A. So it should look like this. This is my matrix A. Multiply it to the inverse of the matrix, so that by definition this should be equivalent to identity matrix. So when we do that, let me just present it there. So that's equals 1 multiplied to this entry plus 0 multiplied to this entry plus 1 multiplied to this entry. Press enter and you have 1. Now to apply some shortcut in this formula, I'm gonna place a $sign before letter B, before letter C, and before letter D, as well as $sign before number 20, before number 21, and before number 22. Press enter. So if I drag this formula, There you go. It's showing the identity matrix I3, stating that the computed inverse matrix is correct. So that's example number 1 for finding the inverse matrix of a 3 by 3 matrix. Thanks for watching.